Hello and welcome to Comic Book Wars. I think we're at an episode. I don't. What episode are we at?
16.
We're at episode 16. I'm Jimmy Linguini, obviously, because that's what this thing here says. But yeah, this is the podcast for comicbookspeculation.com. Welcome. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Hey, what's up? It's Sleepy John. I'm not one of the twinsies tonight. Look at their hats. Twinsies.
This motherfucker. This is Nico with comicbookspeculation.com, your weekend update correspondent. And I am not wearing a hat that makes reference to coal or gas or I don't know what else.
Yeah, but we're never gonna really know that for if that's accurate or not, are we?
No. Uh-oh. He did it. He's doing it.
I think he just made that hat in the last 30 seconds since it was called out.
I think that's he got the sticker out of a Cracker Jack box and put it on a hat.
I think it's hiding up the logo and all the words. I think that's what he did. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he had to cover it up.
Yeah, he doesn't want to
Makes sense.
He had the same hat. I get it.
Makes sense. Now I feel left out. Nobody told me to wear my gas hat.
So yeah, this week I thought nothing was going on, but today some stuff happened.
Wow, what a bombshell dropped right earlier today.
What was the bombshell that dropped earlier today?
What was that bombshell? Kevin Feige and Marvel are not going to have any involvement in Spider-Man movies or Sony movies moving forward at this point.
Yeah, does that matter? Do we care?
So what the rumor is that Marvel wanted 50% of the profits for the movies moving forward, and they were getting about 5% before. So that's a pretty big jump. I had somebody else mentioned to me well, Sony's really going to be feeling it when they only make $600 million on the next Spider-Man versus the $1 billion that they just made. And I said, well, not if they're asking for 50%. They would still be plus 100 million by not having Marvel involved. I mean, you can just throw numbers around. I think as long as they keep the same team of the director and actor, I think there's a chance it'll still do pretty darn good. I don't think most of the people will care that much. Well, yeah. I thought he got snapped because we were talking about Marvel movies.
He might have. I don't know. That was a terrible movie, the one where they all got snapped, I think. I agree. I don't know. I don't think this really matters. I don't really care about it. So it is what it is. But I mean, will the movies be worse? Will they be better? I mean, they're gonna have more limited number of characters they can introduce, right? Because they're gonna have to be within the universe that they control, right? So
I think it hurts Marvel more because they had Tom Holland in the Avengers movies.
I think they can still do that, though. Can't they still? Since they've already introduced him, he's now locked out?
I don't know. There was no mention of the reciprocity between the two. So Feige's and Marvel is not on the Spider-Man movies. But, yeah, do they still get to use him for Marvel? I would think no. I think Sony just said, we're good over here. We got good thing going. We can do it without you. But I guess the other thing, too, is they're not going to have any Avengers movies now, right? Or it'll be a different team, maybe. So, might not matter. Nico doesn't. I think Nico was frozen. Is this screen frozen?
No, I'm back. Can you guys hear me?
There you go.
I just think he doesn't want you to hear him. I think that's
I don't think his sound isn't on.
Yeah, right. Long story short,
he can't hear us.
I think the big takeaway is
we can only hear him if he does accents. I think that's what happened.
Don't tempt me.
Oh. Well, all right.
I think the big takeaway is that ASM 37 is a dead book, right? I mean, there's no Dark Avengers without Tom Holland and Sony Spider-Man. There's no long-term...
But there's no Dark Avengers without Spider-Man? Is that what you're saying?
I think without Norman Osborn, I don't see them doing that. Do you guys?
Yeah, I do.
I can't hear.
Because
how?
Who can? What? Yeah, no, I could see them doing it because they just would have General Ross as the main the main guy of Dark Avengers, the Dark Avengers as a team, they can just still have the whole Patriot.
Yeah, but I
Somebody
thought it
else
was
would be
like
wearing the Iron Patriot.
I thought it was premised around a benefactor angle, and I just don't know how they're necessarily going to achieve that without Norman Osborn. I get what you're saying that
I mean, there's tons of rich guys that they can just introduce. I mean, the Kingpin is a millionaire, so they could introduce tons of villains that have a bunch of money that could do it, in my opinion. But who knows?
I think Dark Avengers spec's dead. Similarly, I think I should have sold my ASM 37.
Just because of Norman Osborn, though? No. I'm sorry, bud. That's not... I don't think so.
We can agree to disagree, and I'll be selling my Dark Avengers books.
You should have already sold them, though, probably. Sleepy agrees with me. He told me that if you still have any Dark Avenger books, you're dumb. That's what he told me.
I still was picking them up.
Yeah, he told me.
Yeah, I've been picking them up for out of dollar bins for I don't even know how long. But the point is, Sleepy, you got an opinion about Dark Avengers? Are we done?
Yeah, I'm not sure what to think about Dark Avengers. There's been a lot of rumors going on about it. I don't know if there's still something there or not.
I mean, nobody's confirmed Dark Avengers either, right? That's always just been a rumor.
No. Yeah, absolutely. It's a rumor.
Or Norman Osborn. But there's about 900 characters that are part of the Sony acquisition of various Spider-Man properties. The Deadline story talks specifically about the forthcoming Venom film and went so deep as to discuss things like the Black Cat and Silver Sable movie that was, once allegedly in production, and similarly discussed the possibility of a Kraven the Hunter film and/or a Secret Six film. So I think that those are ideas that people at Sony are probably still talking about. If Deadline would pick them up, I haven't seen much independent reporting beyond that Deadline story. There was a Variety piece that kind of echoed the same sort of sentiments as the Deadline article, basically suggesting that negotiations had shut down. Now, we've been talking, at least in the Weekend Update, and I think even here on the podcast for a number of weeks, about how now is the time to buy Spider-Verse keys. And I think that that's absolutely the sentiment that, the big takeaway, right? That for me, at least anyway, ASM 37, pass, Dark Avengers, pass. But I do think that when the eyes have moved away from Spider-Man, because, if you compare films like Morbius to Eternals and Shang-Chi, both of which are forthcoming, people have confidence in the MCU and the Marvel Universe. They don't have confidence in Morbius or Sony Productions. And I think that with the return of Spider-Man to Sony proper, you're going to see collectors and speculators have less confidence in Spider-Man books. So now, more than ever is the time to pick up, for example, the Spider-Girl first appearances, the Spider-Women first appearances, the Spider-Man 2099 first appearances, the second print, of course, the Comics Pro for Silk, and some of the other key books, because I think that eyes will move away from those characters, and there's a much larger chance that you're going to see them either in a TV series of their own or potentially in a film now that Sony has exclusive control over the Spider-Man properties again.
Okay. Yeah, I can totally see that. So, what do you think about how does this tie into D23 is coming up this weekend? Big
if I'm a betting man, Feige comes out swinging. Disney says drop bombs. Right? They want to take away Spider-Man. Let's crush them. While I thought we were going to maybe see things like Namor the Submariner, potentially Kamala Khan for like a TV show on Disney Plus, and Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur for an ABC property. Like at best, I think now there's a much bigger chance that you're going to get big announcements at D23. That's my take.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to do something. They're going to have to do something to say, like, just kind of, give themselves a pat on the back, brag about themselves a little bit more, and say, look all the stuff we got coming up. What do you got? 2 Spider-Man movies and a Silver Sable and Black Cat? I mean, is that that
mean,
one really like.
Moon Girl is probably going to be announced. What else?
You do
what
think
else were
Moon
the
Girl
rumors?
is?
Well, that was the rumor, right? That some kind of Moon Girl thing was probably going to be announced.
I think that's my rumor.
She
That's
did
one
have
that
a.
Nico's
Well,
been
she already
saying.
had a TV show, right? She's already been optioned for some kind of
Something like
animated
that.
TV show.
Correct.
So
The Lawrence Fishburne's group indicated that they were going to take a hard look at it and try to generate an animated series. That got real quiet for a long time, and remember, they're the group that's responsible for like Blackish and I forget the other TV show, Halfish, something strange.
Halfish,
I don't fucking know, dude. It's like some
Blackish,
strange.
and Halfish.
I don't know, but it was something like that, like mixed-ish or
Mixed-ish.
it didn't. I don't know, dude. I mean,
Listen, there's not numerous shows that have ish on it.
Yeah, there are.
There's one, and it's
No, there's one where the daughter goes to college. I can't remember what it's called.
Is there an ish on the end of it?
I would assume so. Just
but anyway, that crew. Jimmy's like, I don't believe this. I need to Google this.
I want to hear more
this is
of
stupid.
Nico's story, Nico's TV shows that he thinks are out there.
Yeah, I know. My imaginary like TV.
Yeah. What channels
I don't
are
know.
these on?
I'm excited for D3. So I mean, we'll see it coming up in the next few days.
D23.
D3, is that like the precursor to D12?
He always says D3 because he doesn't understand. He doesn't think it's D23.
Whatever. Anyway, I think they're coming out.
So Saturday's when all the news will drop, same as like happened at San Diego Comic-Con. So I wonder if there'll be some live tweeting from it like there was at San Diego.
That's cool. We'll focus on that next week, I think, and we'll have some posts up on the website. I mean, for this podcast, I'm excited for that. I mean, we can speculate on it. I think
I'm just saying I'm going to be keeping an eye on it that night because if something drops that we ain't waiting for, like happened before, I'm going to be buying those books that night.
No, these are great ideas.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I agree with you. Yeah. But I think for this podcast, what we had planned was, like, as the title suggests, we're going to talk about, I guess, this week's new releases. And Nico has a few books that he wants to touch on. And then we're going to end it by looking at 2 top 10 lists and, I guess, comparing them to some degree. Right? Is that how we should do it? We'll do it in that order. Everybody's okay with that order? So just in case you're here because of the title, which is what top 10 list CBSI versus Key Collector. We'll go into that. These guys have no idea what I
suggested. What was the one that I suggested?
I don't know. It was stupid. Top 10 lists are dumb, and the ones that you suggested, I think, were like lesser known. And were a lot worse. So just based on that, I think
yours
that
had to
was
do
your
with
suggestion.
like bodybuilding videos or something. I thought. No.
Yeah. He's not saying anything now. He's offended. I think I offended him.
He was saying the Arnold Classic, 1987 or 1993, which was better?
Oh. 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 Okay, so this week there's a few books, I guess, that are on a few people's radars.
Interesting, very interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's some cool books. I guess is there any that stick out to you, John?
What?
I think there's a couple that were surprises as usual. Get a couple surprise books. Everybody's trying to sell their books, and I will talk about the Powers of X #3, the secret variant, which it's kind of a cool idea. I actually like it better than any of the ones they did before because it has the new characters is the base cover, where I don't even know what the Nightcrawler's looking guy's name is.
So this is the regular cover, where they're like
regular cover.
They're the future versions of them or something.
Yeah, because then it has the Rasputin, the woman who they're just calling Rasputin.
One second.
And then the secret variant.
So this is the regular one, but this was oh no, that's not it. This was announced as on Diamond and on the Marvel websites. This is what the regular cover looked like, so it kind of threw a few people off. I know there was some confusion, but this is the secret variant, the one where they look.
Well, it has Magic and Nightcrawler basically.
Well, there's also this guy, right? Like, I mean, this is somebody's legs, right? Like the image is through somebody's legs.
I don't know. I guess I just assumed that was like.
If that's a woman, she has great thigh gap.
Right?
Galactus
Right?
or
Yeah.
something.
See exactly.
It's probably
isn't that somebody's thigh gap? No.
It's probably Apocalypse. I bet.
But then it gets really skinny on the left side. Right.
I don't know what's going on
That
over
leg,
there.
I don't know.
Seems
So
like
now that we're
a
looking
lot
at this,
of,
it's confusing.
A lot of investigation of guys' legs, and this is tying back perfectly.
We don't know. I don't know if it's a guy.
And it ties back perfectly into what Nico wanted to do for the top 10 list.
I saw what you did there, and it was quite clever. It would have been more clever had I not been very excited about bodybuilding.
Okay, so are there any books that come to your mind for this
No,
week,
not-
Nico? That come out?
Yes.
Any books that catch
I'm
your
really
mind?
excited about one book,
Okay, I'm listening.
Batman 77.
Oh, so this one.
That's the
Or this
one.
one.
Nobody
That's
likes
also the one.
Or this
nobody likes Batman ever since
So
he
why?
was
What's
supposed
the
to
deal?
get married.
What's the deal with Batman 77?
I feel like everybody better close their ears before we spoil it for
So
them.
I guess there's a spoiler, but I mean a lot of people aren't reading it, and the book is selling well. And the guy
Warning.
I talked about this on Twitter. Well, I said
Don't read
that it was going to be a big
Twitter.
book. I tweeted it a few hours ago, like 10 hours ago, 12 hours ago, and some loser canceled the books I ordered. So I'm kind of upset about
Ouch.
that. But it seems to be selling
What
well
happened,
now.
Sean?
But yeah, so what's the big deal about Batman 77?
Jimmy, John.
I
Yeah,
don't
just
know.
asked you.
I don't know. I didn't read the.
So
the
spoilers, but I guess Alfred dies allegedly.
no.
I don't know.
And how does he die?
Shall we look and see?
His neck gets snapped by Bane.
So do they say he's actually dead?
No, but it's like, you know, in Mortal Kombat, like in the movie, when Sonya fights that guy, and then she
No.
breaks his neck. It's
Shall
kinda
we?
like that?
Are we
where, like,
ready?
he doesn't you don't
Okay,
see him
here we go.
like dead, but you assume he's dead. So I mean,
Did I do that right?
Oh, that
so
doesn't look good.
Did I do that right?
yes.
Yeah.
Snap City.
But yeah, so I don't know. It seems like a good.
So
book
what?
to be
It's
picking up
selling
this
for what? 15, 20 bucks already?
Well, it's selling for double the triple cover, so I'm not sure what it's at right now. I just know my orders got canned,
Hmm.
and yeah.
Well, that person can sell them for more now.
Don't worry. Every retailer in the country will have them pulled off their shelves by morning.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, when I looked. He canceled it right before we started, and the lowest one on eBay was 15, which kind of upset
Do
me.
you guys remember a
And it
time
was only
when?
this cover, not this cover. The Clayton Crane one, which I kind of like. So I don't know.
That
do you
is
guys remember a
Clayton
time
Crane.
when?
That doesn't look very good for Clayton Crane.
Whatever.
Do you guys remember a time when the market was so healthy that retailers who would pull books off their shelf because they were this week's hot whatever would be ostracized and lambasted by the comic collecting community? And now it happens so often that when people don't cancel orders, they receive praise. When they don't pull books off their shelves, they receive praise. I mean, we've literally come full circle. It's brutal.
That was
Well, I mean,
before eBay.
It's capitalism, so do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I guess
Yeah.
the other
good
big
shame.
book,
It's
the
just
other big
interesting.
book though from this week, I guess that caught my eye, and we'll go through all of them, is Dead End Kids 2, which seems to be selling really well. I mean, it's sold out, and it seems to be selling really well. I guess the number one came out 2 weeks ago.
Jimmy, you still got variants that
Yeah.
you did?
But anyways, the point is,
He hates talking about that. They're
number
great.
2 seems to be a good one. And then
Yeah, that one is selling well. One
there
I'm
was-
surprised about was that I didn't see. I checked quickly on eBay and I didn't see many listed. House of X number 2 second print. I saw some, or at least one sold for $20. I only saw like a couple listed.
This
I
comes
believe
out this,
that
this
comes.
comes out this week though.
Yeah, it's
That's
badass.
what I thought.
Because didn't the first print just come out?
I don't know. I asked
Oh,
my
you're right.
LCS
You're right. It did
about
just
it.
come
So
out.
that's
and they
why
didn't
I
have
don't
one.
know. I
last
did see
week.
that. I did see you sent me that image, but I was
Okay,
just thinking
maybe that doesn't
didn't
come
that-
out.
Didn't that just come out? So I'm not sure.
I thought Midtown had it on their website for this week, but I didn't see it
Listen,
anywhere else
what
listed
did we
for
go
this
over
week.
last podcast?
Always buy from Midtown because they like to destroy
Midtown
your
has been
books.
disavowed. We have pulled our support for Midtown, and they have been banished. Nico, you know what I'm saying? Nico knows what I'm saying.
Whatever you say, everybody cancels my shit. Fuck, it's hard for me to find a comic shop that'll let me still buy there. They're like, you're not welcome
Yeah.
here. You're
Well,
smarter than me.
That's your own
So-
fault though, because you say
That's
things
'cause
like, hey,
You live
should
in
listen
cold
to my
country.
podcast, and then
live
you
in
like
cold
talk,
country,
you
and
talk
you're-
negative about them.
I
on the
try to help
podcast
people.
right after you
I
tell
try to
them
help people
listen
do a
to
good
it.
job. I didn't talk negative. I just told the truth about overpriced and or overgraded books.
Don't wear a hat that says you don't support coal, and when you live in coal country, that's their problem right
Yeah.
there.
There you
I mean,
go. There you
People
go.
can fucking burn their comics for all I care.
Oh.
They're their books. You want to pull them off the shelf? Pull them off the shelf. You want to charge above market for them? Charge above market. I don't give a shit. I don't even pay for market price for things. I only buy things when they're less than the market.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Oh, you're one of those damn flippers, ain't you?
No. I mean, I try to hold on. If I could like get organized enough to like sell them quick enough. But I'm not. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to like do that, but it is what it is.
So there are a few.
We're all sad for you.
There are a few indies that come out this week that seem to be selling okay. I don't honestly think that they're going to last, but can we just run through those really fast? Great.
Yeah, really quick.
Yeah, because
there's a lot of them this week.
There is, and they've sold out, but I don't know how long they're going to last. So the first one's Headless One.
No, that doesn't come out till next week.
Are you sure? Because
I had to look up on
did it get
the
pushed
solicitation
back or
for it. Also, tell your buddy James they need to get more information on their website
First
as
of
to
all,
what the books are about.
No, time out.
And when they come
because
out.
me and James talk all the time. You're right. It comes out next week.
He's the most frequent guest on your podcasts ever.
I don't think that's not accurate. If you looked up the podcast, you'd see that John Z would be.
Not buying it.
That one comes out next week too.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, but
That's
why are
what
you
this
not
solicitation says for him.
Are we just going to talk shit about John Z now? Is that what this podcast has turned into?
I don't believe so.
I've signed up. Okay, go on. I'm listening.
Is this how Jimmy communicates with other people? Like,
Yeah, it's very
hey,
cool.
Jimmy,
This is
why do you badmouth Wes?
I don't know.
Why do you got to say terrible things about him?
I don't know. All these people are like texting me saying,
I don't
"What are
think
you saying
you have
terrible
to worry
things
about-
me?" I'm like, what are you talking about?
I don't think you have
I
to
don't
worry
know,
about
it's
Nico
possible.
and I talking bad on John Z.
No, he's my dude.
No,
Yeah.
I'm talking shit to you guys, but he was
Oh.
he's
Yeah.
the most frequent guest I think on Pressable Defects. I
don't think that's accurate, but that's it.
I'm pretty sure James did it twice or 3 times maybe.
Once, twice,
But then
3
John
times
Z
a
did it
lady.
2 months or
Okay,
something,
what's the next book you have?
The second
it's
print of
actually
Captain
coming
Marvel
out this
8.
week.
where Star appears on the cover. It seems to be doing okay. I don't really care.
I don't think anybody cares about that anymore, do they?
Mm,
Number 9 came out. It didn't.
I
even
mean-
it didn't even go above cover, did it?
I don't know, but it was
No,
the
because-
number 10 hot book on coverprice.com.
that's because number 9 people thought was going to be the first full appearance because
Yeah, she wasn't even in the
solicitation
damn
said
thing.
8 was going to be was going to be a cameo, or like they said she was appearing in number 9, but 8 was like not even a cameo; it was a full appearance. So I think that's what happened. And I think a lot of retailers ordered 9 and didn't order a lot of 8. There's also like 2 store variants for 8. For the second print, and it's like a version of this and a version of the Carnage Eyes, and they haven't sold out. And they're still available for like $20. So you're right. This book might have fallen off
Because they're
A lot of
just
people are talking.
they ordered probably like 10,000 of them. They don't tell you how many they make.
They say that they're
ordered.
only selling 750 of them, right? So
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Who knows? Store variant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw another book up there.
And then another one that I noticed that somebody sent me about, and then you talked about, is Cyclist 1 from Black Box Comics, which seems to be selling for about $15 to $20 online. So that might
What
be.
is this?
No idea.
What is Black Box Comics? They have
a comic publisher.
Oh, thank you.
That was
Have
a
they-
Jim Comics hot pick.
Did they have any,
expected to sell above cover
Is it?
price? Oh yeah.
I'm glad somebody
It must
watches
be a
all these
Canadian
guys' videos and lists. Like I can't keep up with all of them.
Well,
What-
how
have
do
they
you
put
think
anything
have
out?
So many, why do you think they have so many subscribers and likes? It's,
Have they
I
put
did.
it? Have they put anything out before? Black Box Comics,
Yeah.
such as?
I don't know. Like, dude, what? I'm supposed to remember everything that happens at all the time?
You can barely remember things that happened 5 minutes ago.
But no,
Dun, dun, dun.
they put out other comics, and they're usually garbage, I think.
Okay,
Like,
that's all I needed to know.
think- I can't think of any good ones. I think I have like a few of the freebies they've given out, but
This one, honestly, the premise did not even look that good to me. It's like about some guy who is a psychologist, and like he has to go and fight his patient's demons. And I don't know, why would anybody read that?
dude, just look at the cover though. Like, it
Sounds
doesn't make
terrible.
isn't
Well,
that?
it's got a skull on the cover, so that's
but
why
aren't those
people
like
like
aren't
it.
hand bone? That's not what hand bones look like. And
No.
it looks very phallic,
Yeah,
like very phallic, very wrinkly.
I'll just take your word for it on that one.
I don't know, dude. I don't necessarily see that, but that's okay.
Oh, you
If
should.
that's what you
Look,
see.
they're all veiny. Like, look at the top one, the top middle one.
I mean,
That's why I left eye.
there's
Is
no
there
shame
another-
in having those kinds of
Is there
feelings.
another cover you can go to, please?
Probably, but this one's all veiny.
Or being uncomfortable about it, John. That's okay. We'll explore that later in your
those are all the books that
psychoanalysis.
were on my radar, but you added a few more, so we can run through those as well, I guess. Absolute Carnage. What's this? This is the
I
second
mentioned
print?
this. I mentioned this last week. Yeah, second print. There's still not a lot listed. It came out this week. I'm not sure why there's not a lot listed, but there's been some sales of 10 or more.
Like, because there's 10 fucking million copies of the first print.
So
Probably.
nobody ordered the second. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Nobody ordered the second, but nobody wants the second either. You know what I mean? It
the
might take
cover
forever
looks
before
better.
somebody wants it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
short. I agree.
I mean, is that the situation with this one as well? The Once in Future One second print.
That doesn't even come out until next week. It's already selling at $25 and more.
But I mean,
from what I
Kudos to
understand,
Boom for creating a spec boom, but like I have very little faith in the
there's a
longevity of this
very
stuff.
limited window in ordering them, and you couldn't order the second
Yeah.
print before the first print came out. So
I think it was only a week cutoff to order a second print, and number one wasn't even out yet. Now, what is on the cover of this? Because we talked about this last week, and you gave me crap about it. I mean, look at now, like the dude up in the top, with behind in front of the moon. He looks like a badass. But what's this guy? He's holding that sword. Like, I don't think he feels comfortable holding that sword. Then you got an old lady who's 4 feet tall.
yeah, but like,
What are
look at
these
what's
other
coming out
figures?
of but look what's coming out of the old lady's behind. She's somehow a dragon. Isn't that a dragon tail that she has?
Yeah, it's got spikes on it.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
So, and that's coming out of
Okay.
her. No?
An old lady with the dragon tail. Now I'm
And
back
then
on
here,
board.
see, look, there's a huge hand here that also looks kind of phallic. No. Yeah, I just like that
Guys,
word now,
This
phallic.
guy's never even seen hands before, apparently.
Apparently, don't know what phallic means either. Okay, so
Okay.
I'll go through these.
So
other ones
that's just something to look for next week.
So another one that comes out this week though is a pretty violent one. And this is
I
what
thought this
Otley
one
cover
was-
be.
Yeah, this is the Otley cover. I like Otley's art, though. I think he's a good artist. Some people don't like his work. The premise of this actually seemed pretty cool, too, because it's this young girl is in a family. They all have superpowers, but all of her siblings are on the bad side, and they kill superheroes. And she's trying to decide which way she wants to go with it. I think it's a cool premise. Otley doesn't do the art, and I just thought this is the B cover. It's a cool cover, better than the A cover.
Okay, I like that one actually.
Yeah.
And then what's this Goon 4?
Goon,
Scotty
another
Young.
just B cover, Scotty Young. These B covers for Goon are cardstock. They're really nice quality, and I think this cover is pretty cool. Scotty Young, he's got some obscure stuff that people don't know about until later, and they sell pretty well. Not like his Marvel stuff, I mean, everybody knows those are coming. This one might fly under the radar a little bit. Just a thought.
And then what's Bad Reception?
Bad Reception. This one,
By
The
Juan.
Wando. I like Wando's art. This is not his art on the cover. This is shoot. What did I put as the image? Dave Marquez, maybe something like
I
that.
don't know.
Um,
Not a mind reader.
it says on the name of the picture.
Oh,
But the premise of it sounded pretty cool because it didn't sound cool. It sounded like something that would be like a movie that Danny Trejo would be in or something. Like these people go have a wedding on an island, and you could see that she's holding this basket with all these phones in it. So they all have to give up their phones, and then one of them ends up being a serial killer. It's kind of like Clue with Danny Trejo in it. That's the premise I'm getting.
it's
I mean,
kind
is
of
that
like
not?
Clue with Danny
Yeah.
Trejo, which, by the way,
And
you can
imagine
watch on
if,
Amazon
like-
Prime. So I mean, if you
What
want to watch Clue, go for it.
And what if Robert Rodriguez directed it? That would be a great movie. Danny Trejo, Clue, directed by Robert Rodriguez.
What's
Okay,
this,
I
what's
like
this,
it.
So, Immortal Hulk 21. Is this a third print?
People
fourth
still
print,
people
second
still
print?
buying this book. Second print, Andrea Sorrentino, just like which would not be reused interior art. I like Sorrentino's art, pretty nice. It's selling for a little bit more than cover right now.
What anybody
I
know
think
what the distributions are on these books these days?
It's hard to say.
I
especially
haven't
with,
checked the
like,
numbers
second
on a
prints.
while.
Yeah, neither have I. I've kind of been waiting to see them, come back
I
down.
bet it's still.
They
Yeah, I
become much
bet
more
it's still
interesting.
over
to me.
70. Do you think it? Well, it was over 100 at a point, right?
Was that something
They doing
that?
a-
But I'm
Yeah.
just interested in seeing like what happens when these
Well, I
books
think it's gonna.
distributions come back down to earth. I haven't
I think
been reading
I
it in a long time, dude. So
Yeah, I probably stopped around.
Is it gonna
like
end?
15. I think 25. They're saying it's the last issue, or
And
at
then
least
they're, like,
that's the way it
relaunching it, right? As
appears.
something else.
No, I don't know if they've said anything yet. Speculation he just goes back to Hulk or something. I don't know though. Can't imagine they would do that, but who knows?
What's going on with this book?
Not much. It was the first book I looked at was Ghost Spider, and I was trying to find something. It's a 1 in 50 Casada. It's all right. It's kind of weird. Like, I guess she's running on the edge of the building there, but I don't know. I haven't been following Ghost Spider in terms of continuity, but I did read like a little those previews they put out, like the first 5 pages. Sometimes they put out, and the premise of this is she's from Earth 65, and she wanted to leave there and come to 616. So apparently she's going to college in Earth 616. So she's in continuity now.
That's interesting.
So what does that mean? I don't know. There's
Does that-
probably some other issue where she came back.
Does that mean she's in
continuity.
Spider-Man: Homecoming?
That's a Sony movie. She was until today.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah. And
Interesting.
then Sony was like, "We don't need Spider Ghost. What the hell's a Spider Ghost anyway?"
But wouldn't Spider-Ghost still be like tied into the Sony universe?
Wait, it's Ghost Spider. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's in Edge of Spider Verse.
Yeah, so they still got her.
Yeah.
That's good. I like how we're going through all these, going fast too. What's this one about? I'm not feeling it.
JSC Vampirella #2. There's a 1 in 15 and a 1 in 25. 1 in 25 sell them for $35-40. They're both selling over ratio. I think it's garbage. JSC is pretty much terrible anymore, in my opinion. He
That
doesn't
one's
do
not- It doesn't
anything.
even look like him.
It's like the coloring is off on it.
What's this?
Oh, that's for future stuff we're going to talk about. That one's that's an older book. Do you want to talk about that now?
No, I want to talk about that. Weirdos talking about weird stuff. I think that's it though. I think that's all I had here for the newer books. No,
for new books, yeah.
Yeah, so that's it. Those are the books that I guess are going to be talked about this week.
There'll probably be someone that we lose or something.
Nico didn't say anything though that entire time. Do you notice that?
Well,
I mean, I've kind of given up on fucking new books. They're just so painful. I grabbed you know what I mean? You saw what I grabbed, the Powers of X variant, the Batman 77.
Well, I mean, you had something prepared, right, that you wanted to talk about? That's what I was kind of trying to keep because, I mean...
Yeah, okay.
Well, I just thought that you were just left out, so I thought we could go into your little...
I feel excluded.
I have all these pictures here for some reason that you don't know about. So,
very nice.
Yeah, so can we just go into that? We're good? Okay, cool.
All right, big sale, biggest sale
Fire
of the week,
up!
in my humble opinion. Tomb of Dracula 10, CGC 9.8, $15,000. Buy it now, out the door. Damn.
Makes sense. I mean, it's not
an easy
high, is it?
I mean, dude, it was a $5,000 book this time last year. If you recall, I tried to convince one Mel V to spend $5,000 on that book. He, of course, said no. Your buddy Sean told him no. It's all recorded in the live chat to an Unpressable Defects episode.
Sure.
Yeah, it is. We can go back and look through and pull the
Take the book down so we can see his face.
It's okay. Let's just focus on George's opportunity to make my man.
What are you guys laughing at? We're talking about Tomb of Dracula, right?
Yeah, it was the text message that came.
I think it's a great book. I'm thinking about grading my copy, but I don't know because I'm probably not going to sell it, and if I grade it, then I might end up selling it. So who knows? What other books?
A 9.8, you should fucking sell it for $15,000.
What other books? No. What other books
are
on your radar?
Yeah, the other big sales I wanted to talk about were Golden Age pre-code horror books. That's what people seem to want to talk about, or want me to talk about. Apparently, there's a Chamber of Chills 1930 that sold in the neighborhood of $3,500. A best offer was accepted. We're not exactly sure what that was because
which issue of Chamber of Chills?
That's the issue. We can't get best offer numbers now from the various agencies that were reporting that online, which is kind of complicated GPA data and some of the other reporting data that at least I rely upon, and I think a number of other collectors and investors rely upon. So
that was a big hand covers this episode.
Oh,
I guess, as a matter of fact, there have been. Anyway,
here we go again.
I wanted to talk about is when you look at Golden Age books, there's a handful of titles that it's really, I think, important to just remember what the key books are from that title. So if you look at Chamber of Chills, for example, the 19 seems to be the premier book out of the run. The second book out of the run that everybody likes is number 23, the zombie cover. That's 21. That's 23. And that book sells, it's a beautiful cover. The other one being 21. 21 is the one that's lagging behind, right? And it's been picking up steam recently. We saw a 7.0 sell for like $1,000. So compare the buy-in between 19, which is incredibly attractive and famous because it was used by the Misfits as the cover for Die Die My Darling, and number 23, which is the second most desirable book from that run, and the 21. And I think that as we move farther and farther away, you'll see the prices on those three issues get closer and closer. So I think the opportunity really is with the issue 21. with the issue 23, and you'll see the least amount of appreciation with the 19. That's my take on it. Other people may see that differently. All right, so another series that I wanted to talk about was Weird Mysteries. This week we saw Weird Mysteries number 5. It was a raw book, sell for like 30. That's not it. That's number 4. That's number 5. Okay. Weird Mysteries number 5 sell for $3,300. It was advertised as in good to very good condition. It's a sharp copy that was listed on eBay. That being said, a 3.0 sold for $4,100. It was graded back in June. Weird Mysteries, again, is one of those premier Golden Age pre-code horror titles, and really has 3 standout books. The number
is this,
4 was
hold on, before you go, is this the book that started that infamous saying, I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy?
That's
I like this. I like the silent pause. That was my favorite part. It's just the like.
It just made me so happy.
Why? It should make you feel.
That was a great joke, dude.
No, it wasn't. That was a terrible joke. Okay, but what
I
else?
liked
What
it.
other? Okay.
All right, so
I
there's
like
3
this joke.
What a weirdo.
There's 3 standout books from this run. The 4, which if you could go back to it, is the ant head skull cover, right? The 5, which we just saw, and the 6, the decapitated head, pulling a head of a rabbit out
Is
of the
that a
hat.
decapitated head or is that a shrunken head?
It's a shrunken head, like Beetlejuice.
Head, much like Beetlejuice. But so this is essentially what I want to encourage people to do. If you're interested in the Golden Age market, particularly if you're interested in the PCH market, a number of people are like, well, how do you get involved in that? What should I do? What I would encourage you to do is just kind of like take a look at these runs. You can either use the Gerber almanacs or just eBay and start to really focus on what the key covers are. And then what I suggest you do is look for books that are not the premier cover from a run, that still have an opportunity to go crazy. Check out the CGC census numbers, find the ones that are rare, or at least where there haven't been a ton of slab copies already, and look for raw copies that you can grade yourself, because you'll see there's very few books, at least from the Golden Age, that are getting slabbed. Golden Age collectors historically like their books raw, and there's a lot of fear around trimming and like amateurish restoration. So you get a real bonus for being able to pull those books out of the wild and have them professionally graded, and so you can either flip them immediately or sit on them. When you've got such a small run or such a small number of graded books, just a couple sales can really push prices out of control. And you may be able to stumble across the next Chamber of Chills 19, which was a book that really just catapulted to the limelight only in the last few years. I'm done.
Cool. Good books, man. Oh.
Yeah, no, I think those were good books. I can't say they weren't. I think that was good advice, as Gary pointed out in the chat. See, Gary, you pointed that out in the chat. So I think that's good. But I guess that brings us to like what the title suggests. Am I wrong? Or was it
Shit.
There's one other thing I think John wanted to talk about before we did that. Actually, am I wrong?
What was that?
Future spec or something?
No.
There's something about future spec and some kind of X-Men book or something.
Huh? Oh, that one that you put up earlier?
Yeah.
Oh, just that Marvel announced this new team because they're kind of talking about. Well, Marvel announced this new team called Dr. Justice and the J Team. I think it sounds
to be Runaways or something, right?
I think it sounds terrible. Yeah, apparently The J Team is going to be like a new name of new characters that come out of the Runaway series. And Dr. Justice is a mashup character from when they did the Secret Warps books. Yeah. So Dr. Justice's first appearance is right here. This is in Ghost Panther Annual #1. Now these are all one shots.
I've successfully avoided learning this by not clicking on the links on Gary's website or Key Collector or any of the other places, and now you're making me learn it.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So Dr. Justice is the dude in the trench coat there, the brown trench coat. And this is the only image of him in Ghost Panther. It's right at the end of the series.
And then it continues in this
You
book.
can basically see it continues, and it looks like the exact same image. So this is a team called
yeah, it does kind of look like
Squadron 7. They're from a different so like the little bit I've read up on Secret Warps is that it's like a different universe, and they come into the 616. It's basically now the thing I'm interested in is in the Ghost Panther book, you get a lot of first appearances of 2099 characters, and Marvel just recently said they were going to be doing some, or they just put out their 2099. They didn't even say what the meaning of it was. So I'm wondering if maybe they'll bring some of these 2099 crossover characters or something. I don't know.
I like 2099.
2099.
Some of those books were just fun.
It'll be a good year.
Ooh. But they did do it before.
Do you guys think they're going to do a 2099 TV show for what's his face?
The What If?
No, the Spider-Man guy. What's his name? Manuel Miguel.
Oh, Miguel O'Hara. He's going to be in Edge of Spider-Verse.
Part 2.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean he's the post-credit scene, but you don't think he'll get his own thing?
Maybe. I don't know. Right now,
I like that.
As of today, I would think Marvel Comics puts him on the back burner to screw Sony.
But yeah,
he's in Sony.
in 2005,
the next Fantastic Four.
Yeah, exactly.
And Spider-Man is canceled.
Yeah.
But in 2005, they did a bunch of 2099 titles, and they were all like written by Kirkman, and they were all pretty fun and good. So I mean, if they do a TV show, those are probably the books you should be looking for. I mean, they might not have first appearances and stuff, but they're fun.
Yeah. Here's kind of the thing. So Spider-Man, Marvel retains all of the merchandising for Spider-Man. I don't think they will tank the character like they did with FF. Do you guys?
No, it's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 2099, he's saying, because of the Edge of Spider-Verse 2. We'll have to see. There's still going to be plenty of time. I don't even... Are they... I assume they're working on that movie, but it takes a while to do those animated movies, I think.
Well, I also assume that they're working on a deal. Like, I've not given up on Tom Holland appearing in an MCU film.
Yeah.
I mean,
Bob
Iger is the mad genius. I mean, this guy legitimately does what he wants. He fucking bought Fox. I mean, that kind of acquisition, the juice that it took, like, in international markets, like, to get that thing done, like, if anybody can broker this deal, he could buy Sony.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if you wanted to, right? Like, oh, we'll just take PlayStation and Spider-Man. You know, go fuck it yourself.
Disney, I mean, Disney could buy a lot of people, you know, so. I doubt they would. Sony isn't too profitable. I mean, they're not as profitable as Disney movies. You know, their best movies ever are these Spider-Man movies.
Spider-Man was the best movie ever, right?
Yeah, for Sony, yeah.
The play is on the PlayStation.
PlayStation.
What? That's where they make.
What are you talking about?
That's where Sony makes all their money.
That makes sense.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, because Apple was thinking about buying them. And remember, if Apple would buy Sony, the rights would revert.
Well, I mean, it's a lot like Netflix.
To Marvel,
right?
for Spider-Man.
I mean, most kids have a PlayStation or an Xbox, and in order to play online, you have to pay like $80 a year. So it's a lot like the Netflix system, and I mean, there has to be how many PlayStations, and what if you don't pay that price, then you can't play a lot of these online content, and most games are just online content these days. So I could see that being their most profitable thing. I don't think that means that it's a make or break situation, but I could easily see that being their most profitable avenue.
Yeah. Yeah, games are huge now. It's true.
All right, let's get going. Do you want to do this big comparison? Who's excited? John and I have not looked at either of the lists.
Apparently, when you guys
I don't know
agreed
what
to
this
this,
is.
you sarcastically agreed to this. And
We were kind of joking at the idea.
we were kind of joking, he says. So as I pushed
I
him
kind of meaning we were completely
you pushed
joking.
off. But I mean, the point is, some guy keeps making these videos online where he does these comparisons. They're actually really well produced videos where he goes through each list and he goes through like the CBSI top 10 and the Key Collector top 10, and then he grades them and says, "Oh, this book is a better pick," or "This is a better pick." I just don't agree with the whole concept of these lists. And I thought if we all went through it, I know you guys haven't really gone through it. I took the images, but I mean, I don't really read stuff, and I don't remember things I did 5 minutes ago. So what am I supposed to remember any of these books? So I think we should go through them, have a nice plain or a clean slate, and we'll just react to them. And we'll just give our opinions, and I think that could be fun. And that's how we'll end this, and it gives us a good title. Am I wrong?
Can't wait.
So
I prefer neck beards and mouth breathers. And what else did I have?
I don't know. It wasn't like fun, your names that you came up with. They were just
They were mean spirited. Yeah.
They hurt my feelings.
Damn it.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Let's go.
Rude.
So who should we start with? Should we start with the one that everybody knows first? I guess the CBSI Hot 10.
Started from the bottom. Now we're here.
And I mean, this is all done by Ben Stein of CBSI, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yep.
I mean, he's been doing it for a few years now. So the top and these lists are from last week. They haven't put ones out for this week, but I don't think that really matters because and this is for both of them. I don't think that matters because again, we're all. I mean, the list doesn't matter if it's a week old or if it's fresh. Our reaction should be the same, I would think. So the first two books on
I would disagree with that premise, but keep going.
Whatever. Well, that's because you're like you just want. Oh, you got to read these lists, guys. And you give it doesn't matter.
You gotta run out and buy them.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not
buy all
saying
these books.
I don't think you should be buying these books. I don't follow lists. I just think it's comical to look at them. So the top two for CBSI are what? These are two recalled books, Superman and Supergirl, which I think makes sense. What do you guys
last
think?
week definitely. Yeah, that's number ones for last week. People are paying $100 for these dumb books.
Well, I think the Supergirl one's at what, $50 now, and then the Superman one's at what, 30 maybe.
I'm kind of disappointed that he didn't combine all of these together.
Yeah, that's how I feel when you don't send me images either, and you expect me to do everything. I agree. I like our banter.
You're saying
I think those are different things.
I disagree.
Even like recalled super books or something. You know what I mean?
Okay,
All
what
four
is
of them
this
smushed
now?
together.
Okay, so then we'll turn over to the hot keys that Key Collector put out. So Key Collector also puts out a top 10, right? Or they do a top 20. So let's look at their top 10. Same weeks. And the first two books that they have are Savage She-Hulk 1 and X-Men 4.
What does it say under X-Men 4?
It says
first appearance of Omega Red, obviously. A Russian serial killer, obviously. Captured and experimented on by the government. I didn't know that part. And then there's been a 59% increase in copies sold this week versus last week.
For what reason?
Exactly. I don't know. But that book's been hot for a while, right? That one's been on and off for years.
I don't know that I would ever
just
use
gave
the word
me
hot to describe that book, but it has sold in the
You're saying it wasn't hot.
$20 range.
There was rumors about it, and like probably 6 years ago there were rumors, and then there was rumors again with Deadpool 2. So the
Deadpool 2, yeah.
And I don't know why it's on the list now. I mean, the CBSI ones I think kind of make sense, the top list, but these ones I don't understand.
Yeah, Ben gives you a reasoning why the book is on the list. This just says 59% increase.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, these lists are what? It says these are just on.
I don't think Nick's is in like numerical order.
You don't?
No,
I think he just picks 20 bucks.
I don't think it is either.
Well, it doesn't matter. Okay, well, listen. Then let's go to the next three. So
I'll tell you this much. You ready? Can I say one thing? I'd rather be buying Nick's book than fucking Ben's. Like, I'd rather go like.
No, I think here's my take on it.
Omega Reds, I'll take those books before
Well,
the recalled Superman books.
I think what
Or
we should
that.
look at. So we have 3 books so far, right?
Yeah, these
Or
are
we have 5 books. We have the Superman recalled books, and then we have Savage She-Hulk, Spectacular
Yeah, let's talk about
Spider-Man
She-Hulk.
64, the first appearance of Cloak and Dagger, and then we also have X-Men 4. So what you
I
think?
would not be buying Cloak and Dagger at this point.
I wouldn't be. I would probably buy. I think the books on the CBSI list are better long-term plays. No,
Mm,
you guys think these are better long-term
two
plays
books.
than
Quip.
these 2 recalled books?
Those are not good
yeah,
long-term
those are
plays.
quick flips right there.
Really?
That's trash. Dude.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Because I would go
Did
with CBSI over these 3 books. I would go with, but
That's not what the list is about, though. CBSI
Nope,
is the
not even
hot
close.
books of the week.
right.
Those are the
that's why it's hard
hottest
to like
books.
even do this.
Yeah. The other books
It's like
here,
hard to even talk about.
these are books that, okay, yeah, there's an uptick in sales, but that's not telling me. I know these books. I can go out and buy these any day of the week. I'm not going to make an uptick in sales does not mean an uptick in value, and that's where the confusion lies with using these kind of statistics. I can I came across a short box of Spectacular Spider-Man 64. Great book. I'd love to have it. I buy them all for $10 each, and then I say, "Oh man, I found these at a garage sale, $10 each. I can sell these for $30-$40. Boom, and I go and I dump them all for $30-$40. Guess what happened? The sales went way up. The sales went way up.
The
But
computer
the value-
algorithm for cover prices.
The value actually dropped. They're all near mint. The value of a near mint dropped from 75 down to 40 because I just blew the market out for that. And there's absolutely no reason except I found them at a garage sale. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying I need more information. And none of those first 3 books, there has been any relevant information come out on it as to any.
That's a
put them
really
on a
important
list.
thing to talk about.
How dare you? Okay, I disagree with that whatsoever. We already listen. It says right
Okay.
here. It says 59% increase in a book that's been on most people's lists for what?
59% increase in copies sold.
Yeah. I
Give
mean,
me the one that says-
I don't know how many copies sold last week, but I know this week 59% more. So,
So what?
Nico, any comment?
Yeah,
I
this
mean,
is
I like Omega Red. I'd rather be buying Omega Red books than those stupid recalled Superman books, unless I was paying cover price for those stupid Superman books.
Okay.
But if I've got to pay market, I'm definitely buying the Omega Reds or the She-Hulks. I wouldn't necessarily buy any of those books. I think they're all kind of trash plays at this point, but I'd take any of them, on the cheap.
Right. It all determines.
I think
It all
we're coming
matters on the
to, I think we're
price.
coming to good conclusions.
Okay.
It's just kind of.
I think we should keep going through the list and then bring it up because we're bringing up good points that are good like conclusion points.
We've gone across the basic premise of the list, the 2 lists. All right, go on now.
So CBSI, it has Powers of X #2, the variant, because apparently it's been selling for $50.
Wow.
or
See, I didn't
something.
even know
I
about
like the
that one.
Moira
Oh no, sorry, it says
McTaggart
connecting
variant, not that
connecting
one.
sets.
Yeah,
Those are
But
just
that's 2 books. I don't know. That's confusing. And then Guardians of the Galaxy 23 is what's that? That's the death of Rocket or something?
No, that's the first Clintar.
Who's Clintar?
It's a planet.
Okay, these are trash.
I thought that was
Those 2
the
books are trash.
Fanto, whatever. I thought that was who's the black Captain Marvel girl? What's her name? Photon. I thought that was the first Photon.
Okay.
No, that's Avengers Unplugged #5. Come on, dude.
So then
This is another shitty book that I don't care about. Yeah.
That book jumped up when Null first was.
Oh yeah. Never mind. I remember
his origin.
Yeah.
When they were going through Null's origin, this book jumped up because it's the first planet where Null was came from, first symbiote planet.
Null books that people ever paid for. Yeah.
And I can't remember why it came back up again. It just came up. Clintar came back up again.
Absolute Carnage?
Probably, yeah. That makes sense.
Clearly.
Yeah.
And then
that Powers
on
of
both
X,
of those books.
does Powers of X, those connecting variants, all those connectings for, well, there's only been 2 sets of them so far. The Brooks did number ones for House and Powers, and then Putri did 2 for House and Powers. Those all sell for $40 to $50 on a good day, and those are all cover price. Now, I don't know if you had to meet a certain plateau percentage more than some other book or whatever, but those are great. those are great books that people are buying. I don't see a whole lot of people talking about them. I guess that's a great one on the list.
You think
Once in Future
makes sense.
we've talked about.
But I mean, that makes sense. That's a good book to.
Are you buying that book?
No, but I mean, all they're selling. I mean, if I
Dude,
could find it, I'd be buying it.
Those are great books that people are buying. What the fuck does that even mean?
It's a mini series.
Oh my god, dude!
It's
a great book to be on the hot top 10 book of the week. That is the point of the list.
Exactly. See, John, and it makes sense. I mean, that's a good book for this week. I agree. It's a book that everybody's talking about.
That's what we were doing.
I've already.
The efficacy of
that's exactly what we're doing. That's exactly what we're doing. We're evaluating these 2 lists and saying which one is better, which one is worse, what their faults are, which one has better long-term value, which one.
Each of the last 2 podcasts, I've talked crap on that Once in Future. I think it looks dumb, but I haven't read the book.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of copies have sold, and it's a mini series, so I don't see it having long-term value. But I mean, again, it's a book that's been moving a lot this week.
I'll buy them when they come back down.
The next one is what, Werewolf by Night 32. I don't think this really is
dirt cheap, but it definitely is.
What? How's this hot right now?
I mean, it's a hot book that's been going up for forever. I don't see
hot
how
book of the
one
week.
sale makes it a
the
spike
D23. Well, there's a lot of sales. Christ, I just sold one.
Exactly. There's a lot of sales of a lot of books. I don't understand how nothing's going on with Moon Knight. So and people
not yet.
So I don't. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's not
yet. Nothing's been confirmed. It's just there's been rumors that mean nothing. So I don't see how
you want to buy on rumors, sell on confirmation.
I agree with you, but I also agree that I don't understand how this is anything.
That's speaking of that, week, that was definitely a good pick.
Speaking of that, one book that I did not mention because we didn't get too far into D23. That Moon Knight #1 solo series, I think it's from '88. That's probably I may try and pick a couple of those up before Saturday, because that's a much more affordable buy-in for somebody trying to get a Moon Knight key, if you will.
Yeah, the blue cover where he's
wow,
I got ninja stars, but it's not a ninja star, it's like a moon.
Wait, he has moon stars? That's kind of cool.
Doesn't he have isn't that what he's holding?
I don't remember. Enough to look at it.
You guys
Plus it has a first appearance in that book too.
Oh, if I'm listening.
He's a bad guy.
I really like the Moon Knight Bill Sienkiewicz series. Because it did a different version of Moon Knight that you don't really see. So I think if they really went with that, the mental health aspect, where he's crazy and he sees these 5 guys and they put Wolverine.
Isn't that how he always is?
It was a lot more detailed though.
Once
in the Sienkiewicz series.
Kenosha
series, or the Bendis series with Maleev. It was just a really good series.
You said Sienkiewicz.
I apologize. I think that's the series to look for, at least for readability, and hopefully that's what they adapt. But we'll see. So that's where we were on the list of CBSI. So we went through the CBSI one. We're at what? We're at 6 of them, and we've done the first 3 of Key Collector. So let's do another 2. Here's a book that we've talked about quite a bit. I could have picked up some copies this weekend, and I put them all back. Giant Size Masters of Kung Fu #3, the first appearance of Shadow Stalker.
Goodbye,
Shadow Stalker. And then the reason that we all were talking about it before is that's the first appearance of Clive Reston.
Yeah, Clive Reston is going to be in the Shang-Chi movie.
And it says that there's a 650% increase in copies sold versus the previous week.
Yeah,
well, duh.
It went from 0 to 65 copies.
I mean, it's a hot book. I can understand that.
My god, that's great.
But yeah, I don't know. Is it a hot book of the week? This next one I don't get.
I would say that would be.
Yeah,
Oh, I
it
can
makes-
tell
it
you
makes
why that
sense.
was on there.
Okay, I'm listening.
Go on.
That's because of the
Go on. Tell
failed
us.
The failed, yeah.
spec
Tell us.
for Star.
Oh, the
Okay,
next book.
I'm
The
listening.
next book. you're
Remember,
saying.
this is
Oh, we're
Star's
talking about
alter
That's not-
ego.
Oh,
There's
we're talking
no
about
confirmation one way or the
Captain
other.
Marvel 1 variant.
I thought there was confirmation in
Variant
issue
virgin
10,
cover art by
and that
Adam
the
Hughes.
PDFs had
1 in
already
100.
leaked to retailers via a Diamond exclusive retailer group that I am a part of, which is why I have my books early.
What?
You're part of it?
Nothing you just said made any sense.
He said something about he's a
He
Diamond
said that
PDF
they said that
retailer.
he said he hasn't read
No,
the
but
book.
that's
He
what
said
people
he
said.
said I haven't read it, but it's in like a PDF. And here's a book that I bought early that somehow confirms.
Yeah, dude, I
that
got a
the
guy who's got
PDFs.
Diamond accounts and
What? Okay.
Yeah, we
anyways.
all do. It's called a
a
comic shop.
retailer. No, not my local
So it
comic
says
shop.
it-
That's
it says
I
it's-
won't tell anything to me until Wednesday.
Anyways, it
Tell them
says
that morning I went in the
anyways.
building.
Anyways. It says that it says that it's plus 200 increase in copies sold. So, yeah, it doesn't really give a good description. I mean, your description makes sense because people are saying it's the first appearance of Star, not as Star.
Yeah,
but,
Ripley
I mean,
Riley or Riley Reed or Tara
I think
Reed
it was.
or Tara.
Yeah, I think it's Ripley
Ripley.
from Aliens.
yeah.
Ripley.
And then what?
Ripley.
X-Men
Sigourney
191
Sigourney Weaver, right?
is the
She's in
first
there.
is the first appearance of Nimrod.
Nimrod.
And
This is kind of a
Sentinel.
tie into
House
Powers
of X,
of
Powers
X,
of
I think.
X. Blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah.
Well, they don't. They're not the same story. Quit saying they're the same story.
And then two more key
The reading
collector
order
ones,
is kind of similar though.
which I guess kind of makes sense. Are what? Once in Future 1, the variant. That makes
Yeah,
sense. It was
one per store variant.
Very hard to find. And then what's the Power of X?
This Powers of
store
X
variant?
book, man, that thing went through the roof.
It's
That
a
was
store
a-
variant though.
Yeah, it
And
was
says it's limited
$35.
It says it's limited to 500, right?
Yeah, they gave you a copy of a certificate with it.
So how do you really know if it how many?
Well, it has a certificate with it. That's how you know.
I just missed an auction
But how do
for
you
a
know?
Phantom Lady 15.
Sorry, you can quit the podcast.
Excuse
You
me.
need to.
We're trying to
you
go
need
through
to
the
check
list
the
right
eBay
now.
watch list.
You already had your Golden Age watch. We're going through the CBSI and the key collector list. Very, very half-ass, I would like to mention. But we're still going through these lists. So I don't know, Mr. Phantom Lady.
I like going through these lists. Yeah, it's good. Okay,
Secret
go on.
Agent.
Go on.
Okay, so yeah, those were the key collector ones. So we have four more from CBSI.
Yeah, we know how to count. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I
You're
don't
doing
know.
great, Jimmy.
We have
Good job.
number 7 is what, Heavy Metal 283, and what, this is Get Ghost?
Yep.
I don't know. That kind of
It's
seems
whatever.
It kind of seems a little pump and dump-ish on that one.
Hey, is Jimmy trying to buy this Werewolf by Night 32 that ends in 4 minutes? Is that why he was saying that was a
Oh my
bad
god,
spec play?
dude. Oh,
I'm
jeez.
sorry. I'm just joking. Gut Ghost.
We're still
Wow,
in the
that's a great book.
podcast here. We're still in a podcast here, Nico. Feel free
I mean,
to
I
join
get that we're
us.
still on the podcast.
He's mad because I blocked him out. Okay, Mech Cadet U, number 1, because there was.
I don't even know what that is.
Well,
It's a
it's
Greg Pak story.
Yes, by Greg Pak, and there were not rumors. It was announced this week that it's been
Netflix.
optioned by Netflix. Yeah, so there were rumorings when it first came out that something was going on, and it sold well. Like it had a little wave, and then it cooled down.
Yeah, it did.
So-
I remember
And
that because I came across them in a $2 bin about a month ago, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this book was like $20." And I looked it up, and I was like, selling for $2. I was like, "What the hell happened to this book?" So I put them back. Boy,
And
don't I
now
look!
you're
Boy,
kicking
don't I got Mech Cadet U on my face.
So so that one makes sense. Number 9 is what, Absolute Carnage, Separation Anxiety, 1 in 100 Virgin variant.
That one
And
really
what?
wasn't actually selling that well, but the
Because
cover's
it's
awesome.
selling above its ratio and $110. But if you have to order 100 copies of it, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, usually you say right around ratio is fine. Actually, around ratio is good anymore.
110.
What's this-
Yeah, no, 110 doesn't.
What's
seem
this
to be
last
enough.
one? Is this one of these dumbass Blade books that nobody cares
Yeah, I don't
about?
give a shit about any of those books.
It's
Now, the
Blade.
Blade
God, those things are selling like crazy
It's
too.
Blade, the Vampire Hunter.
10
number
is the one I
8.
kind of like, though.
Has
Because
Morbius on the
8
cover?
Yeah.
Here's why I like the 10. It's clearly got a lower print run than the rest of them. I don't know what the alleged Comic Con distribution was. It's from 1994, but I heard somebody, I forget what they were trying to suggest, that it was like maybe 8,900 or something. But I'm going to have to go on. I didn't really think we were actually going to do this. I'm going to have to go and try to like dig and see what that is. I can't imagine.
kind of
Yeah, no,
irrelevant now.
you guys keep saying that, and
It's
that
irrelevant now.
That really
Like-
pisses me off. I told you what the plan was, and then you said to me you should change the title of the show, and I changed the title.
What did I suggest?
Nico,
You said
Nico,
we
I'm
should change
glad-
the title, and I said I'll change it, and I changed it. It was like on Sunday. You guys are just
I
weird.
also suggested that we should have a steel cage match.
Yeah, so you give bad
mean,
suggestions.
uh,
I give mediocre
Fire Guy
suggestions.
Ryan, Comic Book Tom, and Nick versus Mr. Bolo, Jack DeMeo. I'm running out of fingers. He would be on
I know,
the other
like
team.
I know one of those people.
Yeah.
Key
Hold on.
Collector. I don't know who any of the other names
Hold
you just
on.
said.
Jack and Brian Wood and Ben Stein, and then it would be like Starcade, circa like 1986. And they
Like, are you just trying to like call out names and fight people?
No, I
said,
thought
Like,
that like
did we just come into a? Are we
you were
doing, like,
doing
a personal
you were doing
vendetta
the
show?
verses. And I thought that would be more entertaining than this podcast, like the 3-on-3 and tag them in
What? Now it's like an
like a
orgy.
ladder match.
What? Is that like some
I
kind
did
of
not
sex
make
move?
any suggestion about
A ladder match?
anything
What the heck?
you did. Yeah. It'd be
Sean
like the
isn't
Road
saying anything.
Warriors.
I think he's like holding it back.
First-
He knows.
What? That's a good idea.
These are like I don't know what you're going on about, but
I'm just saying.
Do you have
That, like,
any
a
more?
versus
Do
match.
you have any more lists, or are we done?
well,
Nope,
okay.
there's
So
more.
that was the top 10 list for CBSI and Key
Oh.
Collector. That's a few of theirs, but CBSI also
I
had
like the
these
10 for Blade,
honorable
though. for the
mentions,
record.
but I guess those are.
Yeah,
it's
the
like
Watcher I mentioned last week, and Monsters.
Yep.
What about Key Collector? You got any more for them? They had
No,
some really
so-
good books on there.
So looking
what?
at those,
Where's the rest of the Key Collector ones?
well, they had 20 books, but I only did the first 10 because we.
Oh,
we
they're
looked
all
at
done?
10. no?
5 books.
That's
No,
what I
we
thought,
looked
too.
at 10. What are you talking about?
I don't think so.
Nah, I don't believe so.
I didn't count
Okay,
that.
let's count. Let's count. I'll
Oh
count.
god,
it.
this
One.
is exactly what we want to do.
Okay.
This is a
X-Men.
great. this is a
She-Hulk. No, you need a
great-
reminder.
It's a great use of time.
Spectacular Spider-Man 64.
Oh, man.
Listen,
I could
you
have
did
won
10.
that
It
Girl
doesn't
by
matter.
Night 32,
So looking,
man.
looking at these lists, which do you think has a better list? Is
That
it
was
Key
only
Collector?
8, 9, 10. No, we didn't do those
What?
ones.
Oh, we didn't do
That's
these.
why.
Okay, so Key Collector also had Venom 9, which has been a book on people's
That's a
radars for a
good
while.
book.
That just started selling again this week.
Dylan
And
Brown.
then-
Yeah, that's a book,
Spider-Man
though, that I'd be
Unlimited one.
buying.
Everybody has that book. All the people that don't know about Spec have that book because everybody's
What,
been talking
the
about
9?
it. Yeah,
Yeah, I'd just keep buying them.
Spider-Man Unlimited is
Assuming,
first.
For
Shriek. I guess she's probably in
Yes,
some
to
of
me
this
it makes
Absolute
sense.
Carnage stuff.
I'd burn those books. I don't think that's pass.
I used to pick up Spider-Man Unlimited a long time ago, but I've
Because
been
it's a
passing
giant
them on
size, or
years. No, it's first appearance of Shriek. She was Deadpool's
I know, but that's
girlfriend
clearly
in
not
Deadpool.
right?
Deadpool versus what was that? Deadpool versus Carnage.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, and that book's not on the
Yeah, that's a good
CBSI
one.
list.
What?
But I don't
Which
think any of those books. See, none of those books really did crossed over on the two lists, which is kind of weird.
No, you don't cross streams, bro.
But
Sounds like another strange innuendo.
So long term, I think you guys are going to say that you think if you followed the Key Collector list, you're doing okay. Whereas you guys might think that the CBSI list is more of a short term list. Is that what I've gathered?
I
I would probably be selling if I have every book, all 20 books.
Yeah.
Okay, is that sort
Sure.
of the inquiry
Sure.
we're gonna make?
let's say you had
I'd sell
all
All
of them.
20.
Yeah,
I
which
would
ones?
sell every book on Ben's list except for the Moon Knight.
The Ben's
Even-
list being the CBSI top 10 list. Okay.
Right. Although I did auction off a low grade copy of that Moon Knight this week, so maybe that's kind of a disingenuous answer. But I think high grade copies of that book, you hold on them. On the off chance there's the D23 announcement, I like Tomb of Dracula 10. I don't see the Werewolf by Night 32s coming down in value. As far as the rest of the books that are on that list, sell. With Nick's list, I can't say that any of them
They keep
like stick out like
collecting
stick out like a sore thumb. But by and large, they're more keepers or books that I would be buying as opposed to the ones that I would be selling. But there's nothing there other than that giant size Shang-Chi that I think. And even that one now is probably on everyone's radar that I'd be paying market for. Probably the only book on any of the lists that I would consider paying market for are high-grade copies of Werewolf by Night 32.
What about She-Hulk? Not She-Hulk?
No, dude, there's so many copies. There's a guy who, he's from your area of Ohio. I think he's got like 400 high-grade copies of that She-Hulk #1.
Yeah, 400 ain't nothing comparatively.
I mean, I might buy.
You were just talking about a
I
low print run comic. It was 9,000 copies, and one, and you're talking about 400.
Yeah, that came
That's less
off
than
the
5%.
in '94, and then got thrown into dollar bins and destroyed.
So did the
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk. Same with
I don't know,
She-Hulk,
man.
Miss
That She-Hulk
Marvel.
book, it's white, it presses nice, it cleans nice.
Yeah, and you could, when something
I'm
happens, what is it now? $500 a 9.8? 400?
I don't know, rights are kind of screwed up. Yeah, I mean, again, like it's a book that I would probably, if I could get in on a deal, I'd grab some copies.
Yeah, like what, $50 for a near mint? Is that too much?
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'd buy that for 50.
Yeah, I probably would.
That's the only book out of
9.2, I'd probably pay $50.
That's the only book out of all those lists that I would buy at this point. But those are not. But the one list is.
You're not in on a Werewolf by Night 32.
It's
so
been out of range for like 10. I actually used to own one. I sold it a long time ago. It's been out of range for a long time.
So
I hear you.
Again, I think we're leaning towards one list being good for holding, and one list being good for.
You are. I don't know. Are you trying to appease everybody here, or what are you trying
I think
to?
that's what we're going with. I don't know.
No,
I mean,
no,
I don't
not
think,
we.
I don't think one of the
Not
lists is
we.
better than the other. I think following lists is stupid and dumb, and I don't like it. I've always said that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make a list for you to follow.
I also think those recalled books are really good long-term holds. You guys disagree.
I don't understand how you're saying that when you own that Justice League 51 error and it sells for $6 now. I mean, seriously?
How much does it sell in CGC 98?
I don't know. Nobody's even buying it because nobody cares.
I don't know. What's the last CGC 98 sale?
I think it was 162.
Okay.
Pennies. Yeah, see, you didn't wait for it. Gotcha.
I'm not looking it up right now, but I could. I refuse to.
Wow. I mean, do you remember your
The big takeaway, though, I think that everybody agrees with is they're certainly not like buying or selling lists proper, but they are tools and things that you should be aware of and probably take a much harder look at than we do to kind of see the direction of the market and see the books that are sticking out like a sore thumb to people who are clearly influencers in the comic market that have big audiences. Whether that's for purposes of appreciating that you're not going to be able to sneak these books anymore because people are aware of them since they've made it to these lists, or on the other hand, books that you should be selling because people are buying enough copies that these two guys and their respective groups are taking notice of them.
I think there's definitely the Hot 10. I think is a list that I look at and say, is this a book that I have in my collection somewhere, or is it a book that I could easily get this weekend, let's say, and be able to sell for a profit? honestly, I mean, I'm a subscriber key collector. I don't really look at the top 20 list. As per my comments today, I just find I'm not sure
You're a
what
subscriber
the
to Key Collector?
yeah, I have been since the beginning because he gets some. He used to get real good stuff. I
Well, let's
don't
see how
know.
long that lasts, okay?
Let's see how long what lasts.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. You got me on that one.
All right, so hopefully we're done as this continues to get more and more awkward.
All
Jimmy?
right. Yeah, well, I think that's about all
My
we have
favorite
for
was
this
like
week.
a few seconds ago. I heard like a cigarette pack getting like being shaken against somebody's leg.
How about
I don't
Nico
have
had
any
a
cigarettes. I stopped smoking. Why you got to do that to me, man?
I
stop
disagree. Okay,
smoking?
thank
Good for
you.
you.
Start.
Thank you.
Thanks. No
thank
longer
you.
a smoker.
I don't believe them. Thank you for tuning in. This is Comic Book Wars, the comicbookspeculation.com podcast. As always,
Who
we like
talks
to.
like that?
I do. As always, we like to appease everybody and make everybody happy at Comic Book Wars and comicbookspeculation.com. So that's why I'm just going to end this podcast with us just looking at Sleepy John. So thank
Cage
you.
matches.
We'll catch
I want a cage match.
We'll catch you next week. Same place, same time. Thanks for tuning in.